Turning now to Ukraine, where the country is dealing with the aftermath of yesterday's Russian air attacks. Ukrainian authorities say at least 11 people were killed across the country. The capital, Kyiv, also recorded its first war-related death of the year. NBC News foreign correspondent Richard Engel joins us now. So, Richard, yesterday's strikes came just a day after the U.S. and Germany announced they agreed to send their tanks to Ukraine. What's the situation like over there this morning? Especially, what are you hearing in and around the capital?
So there have been attacks once again in and around the capital, Kyiv, and that first death of the year. Kyiv is quite far from the front lines. Kyiv is a city that is experiencing power cuts, serious problems with running water, serious problems with heat, but there haven't been very many casualties because most of the Russian attacks have been against the infrastructure, against power plants, against treatment facilities that are generally on the outskirts of the city. So this is a more deliberate attempt by Russia to bring the fight right to the center, right to the capital. But it is not the only attacks. We are still seeing a very active front line all throughout the east, all throughout the south. And Ukrainians recognize that this is why they need the weapons. If they needed any more evidence, they just got it. They say we need weapons, we need air defenses, they need tanks, and some tanks are going to be on their way. And they are now asking for aircraft. So if you watch the progression here over the last year, and we're almost at the one-year anniversary, first they started out asking for weapons. Then they started asking for air defenses. Then it was more advanced artillery, then tanks, and now they want fighter jets, F-16s.
Richard, explosions were also reportedly heard near the Russian-occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. That's according to UN monitors there. What more can you tell us about what we're hearing about that?
So this goes back to an incident that happened yesterday. So there are many nuclear sites in Ukraine, the most famous of all being Chernobyl, which led to the Chernobyl nuclear meltdown. And it is extremely dangerous to have so many nuclear power plants, nuclear facilities in an active war zone. And the international community is so concerned about that the IAEA has sent monitors to these locations. But the IAEA, the monitors who are there, part of their mandate is just to record incidents, but not who was responsible. So if there is an explosion, they will write down and say, we heard explosions, our windows rattled, and that's what they reported yesterday. The Russians, the occupying Russian forces, control the Zaporizhzhia plant. And the Russians came out very angrily and condemned the IAEA, saying you shouldn't be making these allegations. You're making it look like the Russians aren't in full control of the facility. You're making it look like the Russians are acting irresponsibly. What the IAEA is asking for are safe zones, that these nuclear facilities, not just Zaporizhzhia, but all of them across the country, be declared war-free zones, but so far that hasn't happened, and there have been numerous strikes carried out very close to the facilities, and that's what we saw yet again overnight.
All right, Richard Engel, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.